The mayor of Philadelphia has decided that protecting illegal aliens is worth putting his city's citizens at risk. The Preliminary Arraignment Reporting System, or PARS, is a collaboration between ICE and local governments that ICE uses to track when illegal immigrants have been arrested for crimes. But now Mayor Jim Kenney is kowtowing to activists and ending Philadelphia's PARS agreement with ICE for the express purpose of protecting illegal immigrants, even criminal illegals, from capture and deportation. Cesar Vargas is a lawyer and a legal immigrant. He joins us on the set tonight. Cesar, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me why the mayor of Philadelphia is working to protect foreign nationals accused of crimes, but not American citizens. How does this help the American citizens of Philadelphia?
Well, to talk about democracy, the people of Philadelphia elected the mayor. People who were either born here or are U.S. citizens supported the mayor and still support the mayor's decision to abolish ICE, the ability to cut that tie between ICE. So this is the wishes of Philadelphia.
So you're saying, wait, hold on, whoa. So by that, okay, so you're saying that any elected official, because he was elected, by definition, all of his decisions have the support of the people. So by that standard, Donald Trump, his position on illegal immigration is the will of the people of the United States. So how dare you question it?
Well, there's difference, right? We have the Electoral College and the popular vote.
No,
Donald Trump
he was
won
elected
by technicality, and you want to kind of say by Russian help.
Let me just say, hold on, slow down. As an
that.
American, let me explain our system to you. I know that you're here illegally. As an American, I will tell you that he won under the rules that we have that were set out in our founding documents. Now, you may not like them, but those were the rules. So he is our democratically elected president, and your point now is that once you're elected, no one can complain about what you do because, as you put it, democracy.
And you have the right to complain, and I think everyone has the right to challenge
the
decision.
And I think that's what you made a silly point. I destroyed it. Let's get to the real meat of this debate, which is, like, how actually does that help the citizens, whether they voted for him or not?
Well,
in Philadelphia, how does it help allowing criminals to go unpunished or to escape federal law enforcement? How does that benefit the Philadelphians?
Well, there's two systems, right? The preliminary arraignment reporting system that we just cut tie, right? That essentially prevented ICE from going into the system that, you know, immigration's day-to-day interaction. So if they go to a party with a bunch of foolish teenagers and they go call police and they arrest a teenager, that's a system they're going to cut off. Like, ICE doesn't need to get involved in that. The system, if someone gets arrested for a violent crime, they still go through FBI and Department of Homeland Security fingerprints. So violent criminals, people who threaten us harm, will still be going through a system, will still get background, and ICE still has this information. To two separate systems, people of Philadelphia will still be protected. ICE will not target the foolish teenager or someone who's just going to
They won't enforce federal law in Philadelphia. So that's a federal law. By the way, voted for under the system that you lauded when you first sat down, our democracy. People voted for those laws, and you're now saying that it's immoral to enforce them. So I guess I'm the one who believes in democracy, not you. But by your standard, the state of New York has an assault weapons ban. Lots of towns are against that. Should local sheriffs say, I'm not for the ban, I'm not going to refer violators of the ban to the feds or to the state? Would that be okay with you?
Well, we already have some counties in upstate or across the country who are pushing against gun laws, right? Don't we have?
No, we don't have any. We don't have any town.
Plenty of times
where
your side resists and people.
No.
This is democracy.
We
right?
actually.
People resist in terms of the policies that they disagree with.
What they don't do is encourage the violation of law, because that's not democracy, that's anarchy, okay? So you know as well as I that if there was a town in New York that's like, we're just not obeying your gun laws, how's that sound? That you'd be outraged, and I actually wouldn't like it either, because I kind of believe in the law. So why is this different? Because one is fashionable and helps the Democratic Party and the other's not, right?
Well, listen, I think, you know, when it comes to the resist movement, we have seen this across the country, whether it's Republican or Democrat, whether it's liberal or conservative. Everyone has the right to resist, and that's what democracy is, right? So we're not debating about fashion laws. We're debating of whether or not I should violate people's constitutional rights, and I think that's what's at stake at this moment.
Oh, okay. So deporting someone here illegally is violating his constitutional right. That's so insane, I'm not even sure I can. Very quickly, I just want to ask you this. So there are now calls on the left to make health care universal Medicaid. This country's tens of trillions in debt. Should we extend those benefits to illegal aliens? And if so, why?
Well, I think it goes to the concept of citizenship, right? As a nation, we have matured from only free landowner white people to now
Don't hit me with the race crap.
No. But we're talking about women, right? We're talking about women
as a citizen of a country controlled by the conquistadors. Don't lecture me about
I believe not only in healthcare, but I believe that we should open the franchise, the right to vote, to everyone, because the unique.
Including you.
The unique power
You're here
of
illegally.
American democracy. It's not a constitution, but it's the unique experiment that we all are equal. That is what American democracy is all about.
I don't know what chutzpah is in Spanish, but for you sitting here illegally, and we're not reporting you or having you like taken out by force.
And you know, actually, I got a green card now. And you know what? That's a whole different.
Well, you do have a green card.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't do it the right way. I did it the American way.
No,
but that's for a different segment.
You're telling me that the essence of our country is not our Constitution, it's letting illegals vote. And I have to nod and both agree. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Caesar.
It's about us truly embracing that everyone can be an American.
Everyone.
Regardless of whether you're born. And regardless of
so no matter where you're from, you have a right to come here, vote in our elections, get free stuff. We built this awesome country, and now everyone from around the world just gets to take whatever they want. Because
illegal
why?
Immigrants
because
built this
why?
nation, right?
No, they didn't. No, actually, they didn't.
Christopher Columbus have citizenship when he came
didn't
abroad?
build the country, by the way.
Who did? Immigrants did, right?
Right. No, actually, Americans did. And that's the fundamental lie.
Americans.
No, you're not. Actually, you're a Mexican citizen, I believe.
It's right here, a Mexican American. And that's the pride of this great.
You know what you are? You're bold. I will say that. I kind of admire it in a way.
Oh,
Caesar, great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me again.
We finally have the FBI's FISA application targeting Carter Page. Much of it was redacted, about 20 pages. What's in those 20 pages? We'll investigate that coming up. Also, Greg Gutfeld is here, exposing New York Mayor Bill de Blasio's latest disaster. Gutfeld, as a New York resident, very familiar with life under de Blasio. Coming up. Not exaggerating. On Saturday, Democratic Mayor Libby Schaaf issued a press release warning locals that, based on several of her sources, she believed ICE, the Federal Immigration Administration, was about to launch immigration raids in the city of Oakland. Press release advised illegal residents to, quote, prepare, not panic, and advised them that business owners and schools were not allowed to assist ICE. Cesar Vargas is an illegal immigrant. He works as a lawyer in New York City, and he joins us tonight. Mr. Vargas, thanks for coming on.
Tucker, thank you so much for having me.
So how can a state actively work against federal law? Isn't that kind of how we had a civil war?
Well, what's the problem? Do we have a problem that a local city is protecting its residents? A local city is pushing against the overbearing power of the federal government? You know, the mayor is not saying, let's protect the rapists, let's protect the child molesters. The mayor is simply saying, we're going to protect our residents regardless of their immigration status. We're going to protect our hardworking residents.
Hold on. Let me just be clear. I'm not attacking any of the so-called DACA recipients, people here illegally. Personally, I don't know them. Maybe some are bad people. Maybe they're all great people. But the point is they're here illegally in violation of federal law. California is a state. The state of California is not allowed to actively subvert federal law. Then it's not really acting in concert with the other 49 states. That's an act of insurrection. Am I missing something?
Well, the Constitution does provide basic rights, but the Constitution allows the states to create more rights for their residents. Here, we're seeing the city of Oakland providing more rights to its residents, and not necessarily saying we're going to detain you, we're going to deport you. If you're working hard, you can stay here. Anyone who's committed a crime, ICE can still operate in Oakland
now you're getting
into
the country. Look, now you're getting into what we want to be true. I'm just saying what is true. Here's what is true as of now, and until Congress acts, it's going to be true. No, the Constitution has been interpreted by the Supreme Court for more than 200 years to say that states cannot act against federal law. That is one of the oldest precepts in American law. And if you say you're a lawyer, I'm sure you know that. So the point I'm making is this. These people are here illegally. Congress can change that. They can legalize them if they want. But right now, their presence is in violation of federal law. The mayor of an American city is saying you may not participate with federal law enforcement. You have to oppose federal law. That is not workable. You can't have that. That is an act of insurrection against the federal government. Do you see this? Do you care?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Just because it's federal law doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's constitutional. The Supreme Court has ruled, and federal courts have ruled, that one, the president does not have the authority to use racial discrimination to target immigrants. One, it's unconstitutional for the president to target sanctuary cities by defunding their government.
You're actually missing.
The federal courts have ruled against unreasonable search and seizures from ICE targeting immigrants.
Look, I don't want to check your bar license or something.
Protects immigrants as well.
Okay. The federal government has a right to enforce federal law. Federal immigration law has not been overturned by the Supreme Court. Please don't make up facts on the show. Those laws are still enforced. And the federal government, by definition, has a right to enforce them. The states do not have a right to subvert them. There's no argument about that. So what you're seeing is something that cannot stand. I mean, the federal government in previous decades has sent federal troops into states when they do stuff like this. So do you understand the fire that they're playing with, or is it just it's cool because you think illegals should be able to stay here?
No,
that seems to be your core position.
I just think that throughout the judiciary history, we have shown that the states and the cities are the laboratory of democracy. The states have such power to do much more than the federal government has done. And what we're seeing here is the city saying, we're going to push it back against our overbearing government. We have done that. The king
You're getting
used
your
to
bumper
intervene
stickers
in the
confused.
colonial
That's
war.
like
And
whatever.
that's why we had,
colonial. Okay, I'm sorry.
And look at this.
I'm sorry. I'm not allowing you to teach American history on my show because you failed the course.
The rights of, colonists, and that's why we had a colonial war. We had a revolutionary because we pushed against a tyrant. We pushed against unlawful laws.
I mean, no offense,
that
but
violated the rights of
I
our
wish you wouldn't say
people.
we. Hold on, since you're not a citizen, actually, so you don't get to say we. I'm sorry, you just don't.
Well, I'm an American. Citizenship does not make me an American,
and
I think values make you what it means to be an American.
I don't know who told you that that's... No, actually, you become an American when you become an American citizen. That's the definition of it. I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm sure you're a great person.
Of course.
I'm sure you're smart. We're just different in that I'm an American and you're not. And that's just a legal question.
We're both Americans, though.
Right. No, that's not true. But let me ask you this, though. So Oakland's got all these other problems. And I'm not staying up late at night worried about whether illegal aliens get arrested in Oakland. Okay, I'm not, to be honest. What I'm really worried about, though, is the people who run Oakland care more about people there illegally than they care about the thousands of homeless that live on their streets. The hundreds of homeless children. The UN went to Oakland and said, this is cruelty what you're doing to your homeless. And yet they're spending time and money on behalf of people who aren't even allowed to be here. Do you see a kind of weird priority in that?
Well, I don't see a weirdness that the city of Oakland is protecting all its residents, regardless of their immigration status. What we're seeing now, if you want to talk about homeless people, well, I'm talking about the Trump tax reform that's benefiting the wealthy and the 1% and give them more tax break. That tax break should go into helping those homeless people. Should be going to help them into
that's so silly. I'm beginning to think I don't think you should become a citizen. I mean, no offense or anything. It's not. I would be happy to have dinner with you, but
let's go for dinner in a nice Mexican restaurant.
Not a very smart point. Caesar, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tucker, for having me.
The Democrats' answer to the Nunes memo is out. What is in it? It's confusing, but we're going to explain it for you next.